Traore is building free healthcare systems, laying out roads through community support, investing in food and processing, pushing tech and innovation, trying to inspire hope where there was despair in his country. And when the UN accuses them of grave child rights violations, they see it as outsiders meddling, outsiders who don't live the daily reality of villages under attacks, schools under siege, or a state that's fighting for survival. For Traore's supporters, expelling the UN isn't suppression, it's self-defense. It's an African nation that's standing tall and saying, we will not be lectured, we will not be humiliated, and we will not let foreign institutions dictate our story. Now, to understand why Burkina Faso's leaders are taking this position and are very adamant about it, you got to look at the history. Because this isn't the first time African governments have accused Western institutions of undermining them through reports, sanctions, or narratives that don't tell the whole story. Think about it. For decades, international financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank dictated economic policy across Africa, policies that often collapsed local industries and left nations in debt traps. Yet those failures were blamed on African mismanagement, not on the strings attached to the loans. Or look at leaders who try to push back. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Patrice Lumumba of Congo, Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, each in their own way challenged outside interference. And what happened? They were branded dangerous, destabilizing, or radical. Some were overthrown, others assassinated. So when Captain Traore, who has promised to lead his country into a new era of sovereignty, says these UN reports are biased, these institutions don't see us as equals, and their words can weaken our legitimacy, they're drawing from a very real history here. A history where Western institutions often had the final word, and African leaders who resisted pay the price. That's why some in Burkina Faso see this expulsion not as defiance, but as correction, as part of a larger movement of African nations saying, we will tell our own story on our own terms. But let's flip the coin. Critics see this not as sovereignty, but as silencing. And they point to a pattern that's happening in Burkina Faso. Because back in 2022, Traore's government expelled another UN representative, Barbara Manzi, after she raised concerns about instability. To critics, it's the same playbook. Every time international organizations highlight uncomfortable truths, the government pushes them out. This time, it's Carol Flore Smiregzniak,